did you do when you came out of the army? Stay with
Uh,
electronics?
Went back to my original employer, HK Collars in Northcote, and because they had to take you back as part of the law. They had to take you back into employment. But by then I'd grown up. I'd become a man then. I wasn't going to put up with this rubbish. And the guy still treated me like an apprentice. So it was time to move on. So I moved on down to Hawthorne and I worked for a company called Delaney Electrics in just near the Hawthorne Glenferrie Oval. And was there for a while. I said, no, this is not for me. I'm going to develop myself. I'm going to move on. I want to do something else. So I decided to apply for a few jobs. In the meantime, I was going to school doing a marketing certificate at Swinburne in Hawthorne. So that was part of my development when I came out of the army. I went to I applied for 3 jobs: Simpson Pope, Phillips. I'm trying to think of it on a photocopying mob. So I'll expand my knowledge. And because I was always interested in audio, always interested to get involved in that, I took the Phillips job, which was the factory in Huntingdale Road in Clayton. Now, when I joined there, I was a sales engineer. There were 500 people employed in that place. And by the time we all left, there was no people employed. They closed the whole place down. They were making precision monitors for the television stations. They were making 100 to 200 watt power amplifiers for PA. They were manufacturing that and a few other things. We also sold a number of Dutch products, which were imported, like pocket paging, M100 intercom systems, FUMU background music systems, all sorts of, and lots of loudspeakers and 100-volt line systems. So that's how I learned about the 100-volt line system, from that experience, and how to fit up and design up a PA system for a big factory. I did some really big places. So that
And
was,
you would be looking after broadcasting equipment across the board, not just audio, but television and entertainment generally.
it didn't get much involved with the TV side. There was some other broadcast engineers there doing that. That was the precision monitors, the other monitors you see on the desks of the guys monitoring the signals that are coming in and out of the places. They were making those monitors there. They're making them for the world.
Yeah.
So, that's where they were made. Around the corner was a big Philips complex, Astor Records, and I got to befriend Harry Majors around here, who was the chief engineer, and I got to see many times. I go around and chat to him and watch all the records being pressed on the big record machine presses. And around there was Chrysler. Now they were manufacturing refrigeration systems, washing machines, and buried in that was Astor Records.
I remember going to Astor Records and watching records being pressed in the early days of my teaching. So I remember that place quite well. And it was a fascinating experience, as I recall.
Yeah, so that's really pushed my thoughts around working more in the audio industry. So from the days of Philips, which we all were asked to leave, retrenched. But Philips were good. They left us with our company cars for a while until we all found jobs. And I went off to work for a guy called John Tung in Blackburn, and he used to do my installation work. He was in the company called All Tune in Salisbury Avenue in Blackburn. Anyway, it was a small outlet, and I was doing all the sales and whatever. So he used to do my installation work, preferred installation installer when I was at Philips. So he ended up employing me.
Yeah. And where did you go from there?
RH Cunningham.
Wonderful, big audio company.
Yeah, and Cunningham's were importers of Sennheiser. So I got to learn a lot about microphones and do a lot of trips to Sennheiser factory in Germany, Millbank, Panjud cable ties, believe it or not.
Mhm.
What was it? Horn speakers. It was a range of horn speakers.
Caltech Lansing, JBL.
No. UK based. They did.
Tannoy.
No, different one. They did the big soccer ground there in London. I went to it. I'll come to me in a minute. A big horn, big long throw horn speakers. You'd see at the races. Remember those types of big horn speakers? You'd see at the races on a pole. Anyway, that was the football ground in London there, where they do the FA Cup. Is it the FA Cup?
Wembley Stadium.
Yeah, Wembley. I went through Wembley Stadium, looked at all the audio there. Went to a number of shows in UK to look at staging and radio mics and all that with Sennheiser, just to get an idea of what else was going on in the world. So I was able to go to, by that stage I'd joined the AES, but there was Brian Horman, Doug Richards. Do you remember these guys?
Yes, I remember them.
Yeah, he used to run the meetings down in Clarendon Street. The Clarion was set up in just under the King Street Bridge there, just around that area. So I ended up going as a committee member and go to, because that expanded my interest in audio. I was always interested in professional audio as opposed to domestic audio.
I remember a tannoy demonstration there early in my career.
Yeah, but I should go back a few years when we lived in Bendigo. My dad bought a stereogram, and in that stereogram was a reel-to-reel recorder, a reel-to-reel flatbed recorder, 1/4 inch, 5-inch reel. That's when I started to play with tape.
Mm.
I still love reel-to-reel machines. I reckon they're fantastic. I reckon they're just brilliant. And they're alive. They're alive, as opposed to this digital stuff which sort of disappears that way, doesn't it? So I got to play, and I was always recording some stuff for the television. And those days the TVs didn't have an audio outlet like a little headphone socket out that you could run a cable straight in. But I used to try and wait till everyone was not in the house and put a microphone up against a loudspeaker and do it that way. Crazy on TV themes and just little quirky pieces of music that I fancied, So a whole bunch of these reel-to-reel, 5-inch reel-to-reels. And then one day I had the money to buy myself a reel-to-reel myself. So I bought this Panasonic reel-to-reel 7-inch reels. This was big time, big time. And for some reason, I decided I was going to do some repairs on it. And I lifted the whole chassis out, lifted it up, and forgot that I'd still had it plugged into the power point, didn't I?
Ooh, ouch.
And I grabbed around the fuse holder where the 240 volts was, and still got a scar on my finger. Next time I'll show you, where I blew a hole through my finger, and the machine went one way and I went the other way. So that taught me safety. And what do
For
I
an
do?
electrician, I would have thought that you already had that experience.
Yeah, I should have known better, shouldn't I?
Indeed.
Yeah, I've been a smart ass, and so I decided to thought I could fix this thing without unplugging it from the power point. So I made lots of recordings on that machine. It was great.
Yeah.
Living next door to me was a ex radio tech, and he then helped me build my first stereo amplifier. Remember the PA amps were in those metal boxes with a sort of open frame, the old Philips amps and all that. PA 100-volt line system. So we built that from a circuit from a HMV stereogram, which was sort of pretty popular those days, to we built up an amplifier, which was, I think, around about 20 watts a channel or something like that, but into 8 ohms. Also, that same man had a decoder, reel-to-reel machine, 4-channel, 4-fail. Decoder, is it? Yeah.
Decoder, D-O-C.
Yeah, and that's it. Yeah, he used to get me up there and play me this magnificent music. It was just stunning. And from then on, it was imprinted that I was going to get one of these machines or work in this industry. So